Let's start with the prayer. Atato ma satkamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Mother, hold our hand, bless us, take us from unreal to real, take us from darkness of ignorance to the light of awareness, take us from destruction of death to absolute immortality in consciousness. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We pray to Mahavatar Kalpa Yogi, Deathless Master Babaji, to bless us, to hold our hand and take us into the Supreme Brahman, to grant each and every one who are participating his blessings. Take us to Krishna. Grant us Yogakshema. Yogakshema, whatever is in your heart, whatever is in your mind, be granted. We pray to Brahma, to Saraswati, Gayatri, to Savitri. We pray to Radha Krishna, Krishna Radhe. To pray to Shiva, Shiva Kali, Shiva Durga, Shiva Parvati. We pray to all the gods and goddesses of all religion to bless us all. We pray to the gurus of the world, to the Guru Paramhans Yogananda, to Sri Sri Yukteswar Giri Sri Sri Lahiri Mahasaya to bless us. Through Kriya and through the understanding of the Advaita, may we attain the supreme peace and nirvana, understanding and awareness. We pray for the supreme knowledge and the practice to Swami Sri Vivekananda, to Holy Mother, to Paramhans Ramkrishna. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Guru. Let us begin today slightly differently. Close your eyes and be comfortable. Hold your hand in Dhyana Mudra or Jnana Mudra. On resting on top of the thigh, in front of the navel, and focus the scattered mind with the advent of the modernization and millions of data distracting us, our mind, our thoughts, our tranquility, to bring it back to peace, breathing in and breathing out. Focus your concentrated power onto one point. It could be between the eyebrow or on your heart. As you breathe in, it is a very good practice to focus your concentration and follow the breath. At one point, that's the breath. Practice for 6 breaths. Breathing in, following the breath up the spine, through the medulla to Agya Chakra. Holding, breathing out through the medulla, down to the bottom of the spine and up. Follow the breath at your own time. Awaken the focus concentration. Awaken the Kundalini. Awaken the blessings of the God, Divine Mother and Gurus. Imagine a brilliant consciousness light engulfing us and all listeners of this channel through the supreme power of the Divine Mother, Brahman, Gurus and the gods. The blessings of Brahman. Let us focus our awareness and concentration in sharing what the Supreme Divinity would be sharing with all of us. On popular request, I've been guided to speak today about Paramhans Ramkrishna. Tomorrow is his birthday. As you know, compared to the English birthday calendars, there is a difference between the solar calendar and the lunar calendar that we follow in India, mostly for most of the spiritual reasons. So the birthday actually falls on 17th February of Paramhans Ramakrishna as per the English calendar. But as per the Tithi, it falls on tomorrow. So the worldwide, there is a tremendous celebration going on a simple, very simple, and yet became the God incarnate, Avatara. Once, Sharat Chandra, who was the personal disciple of Swami Vivekananda, asked Swami Vivekananda, what do you think of your Guru, Paramhans Ramakrishna? Is he an avatar? Swami Vivekananda asked Sharat Chandra, what do you mean by avatar? What do you understand by avatar? Sharat Chandra said, why? Like Jesus Christ, like Muhammad, like Buddha, like any to Krishna and Rama. Swami Vivekananda said, I know him. He didn't say that I do anything, but he said, I know him to be the creator of all Avataras. What does that mean? It means that Ramakrishna, as it is understood by his sincere devotees and the world over by many who believes in him, that he was the supreme Brahman incarnate. But the avatars, why are they born onto this earth? They're born to come down and give a message to the simple beings like you and me, to come and tell us that while being on this earth, in this simple human form, we can go beyond all these sufferings just knowing who we truly are. Avatars come to show us the way. In his own story, Paramahansa Ramakrishna is saying, 3 friends were walking across and saw a huge area encompassed by a huge wall. Couldn't see what is inside. After a lot of effort, one of them tried to climb up and managed to reach the top and saw the other side, and he said, oh, 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 he danced and clapped and he jumped inside. Without telling the others what did he see. Idea was to go down and see and tell others. The second man also managed to climb up and he did the same thing. He clapped and laughed joyfully. Oh, 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 great ananda, joy, and jumped inside. The third man, he also climbed up. He also said, oh, 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 and what joy and what fun. He was tempted to jump inside, but he said, what happens to the mankind in my village? They are suffering. They do not know the existence of this joy, this ananda is possible. Let me get down and go down to the village and spread the word. You know, once you attained the nirvana, there are 3 ways in which you could react. So when Swami Vivekananda attained, granted to him by Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and after 2 days when he came out, the Paramahansa Ramakrishna asked him, so now what do you feel like doing? And Swami Vivekananda said, I want to stay in this blissful state. And maybe once in a while just come out to keep my body alive, but I want to stay in this state. And Paramahansa Ramakrishna scolded him. He said, fie on thee. I thought you would be like the great banyan tree and where millions of people across the globe and the world and the birds and the insects and the snakes and all would come and rest under you and get the message. And it is good that Narendranath chose and became a monk and became Swami Vivekananda. And that is how today everybody knows about Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, and many of us have been blessed to know something more. There is another kind who attains that supreme nirvana, the second kind. There is to be also in the story of Paramahansa Ramakrishna himself, there is to be a monk who had attained nirvana, who is to live in the temple house of the Dakshineshwar temple. And he used to stay in his hut. He would never come out, always in samadhi, very little requirement, almost would not eat. Once in a while he will come out and he will dance and clap and joyful and say, oh, how beautiful this world is, what a beautiful, joyful world is. And then he will go back and again stay in Samadhi. This is the second kind, who would come, who would see and go back. And the third kind are the kinds like Buddha, like Paramhans Ramkrishna, like Jesus, like Mahavir Jain, Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind, and many such avatars who chose to go back to the people and share what they found out and make it available to people like you and me who get inspired, get excited, and make the travel. Swami Ranganathananda left his body at 98 or 96, either one of these two ages, at a very senior age. I have been blessed to meet him, and that was about somewhere around 94, 95 of his age. And I remember gone and meet him. We sat him with my family. We did the pranam, and he smiled at us. He joined the Ramakrishna order as a boy of a 14-year-old. And you know, all he did is read the Gospels of Ramakrishna, or in Bengali called Kathamrit. He is a South Indian. And as a South Indian, he attained the understanding of several languages, and he joined and became a monk several years later, 4 years later, and continued to practice and became such a great scholar with the blessings of his guru that Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, they all chose him to the emissary of India to go around the world, and he did several trips like that round the world to spread the message of Vedanta around the globe. These things are only possible when you start to realize, attain that supreme bliss and blessings of God, Divine Mother, Guru, Brahman, whichever name we may call, Jal, Pani, Tanni, anything. This Jal, Pani, Tanni was also Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's example. He used to say, Kamar Pukur, where he was born. His name was Hridoy. Gadadhar was generally as known as. And his father died, and he shifted to Calcutta with his elder brother, Ram Kumar. Originally, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, Gadadhar, and Ram Kumar and all, they were all worshippers of the family deity of Sri Ram, Ramachandra, Ram. So you will find that their names had, some of them, Rameshwar, Ram Kumar, but Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's name was Gadadhar. How did his name become Ramakrishna is not yet very well known. Some say that his eventually Vedantist guru, Totapuri, who was a Punjabi, huge, 6 feet, very muscular figure, who taught him Vedanta. And after he gave him his monkhood, sannyas, as per the general custom, the new disciple is supposed to get a new name. What name did Totapuri give is not known, but it is presumed maybe he was given Ramakrishna. He was otherwise known to be Gadadhar. Let us call him Ramakrishna for now, as he is known, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. Paramahamsa means it is the swan. Swan, Rajahams, Paramahans, can separate the milk with the water when it is mixed, it will only drink the milk, leaving the water. So, samsara is duksha sarvasar, as Krishna is telling Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. But Paramahansa Ramakrishna showed how to get the sar, the mula padartha of this beautiful world universe, and see fun everywhere and joy, and suddenly these sufferings and etc. go away. And he showed to the world, living like a simple person, how it could be lived. He practiced almost all religion, and he gave the eventual method, what is a very simple path. He said something very nice about Vedanta. He said, take the message, the knowledge of Vedanta. In Bengali, he said, Achule Vedanter Gyan Bedhe, like this. If this is the anchal of the, dhoti or the sari of the Bengalis wear, tie a knot of the knowledge of Vedanta, and then after that, whatever you want to do, go ahead and practice and do. Keep that knowledge of Vedanta. And that's the primary reason, along with the messages of the great masters, Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, that we have been guided to take on, and I've been guided to share with great, wise, aspiring devotees such as all of you. Keep the knowledge of the Vedanta, practice the Kriya Yoga, and practice the solidarity through Vairaga, Viveka, Shama, calmness of mind, Dhamma, controlling of the senses, Uparati, let the mind not go outwards. Have you noticed our mind is always going out through the senses? Because the senses are going out to grab the world and bring it to us. So we are going out with the senses and we think the world is out there. Samadhana, study Vedantic scriptures of religious books, of all religion, any religion. Paramahansa Ramakrishna's message, Jato Mat, Tato Pat. As many mind you have, that many religion can be. Swami Vivekananda, his disciple, says, let there be million more religion. It doesn't matter. And let all think about Brahman, God, the Supreme, the Divine One. Paramahansa Ramakrishna used to say, in a pond in Kamarpukur, there are several ghats. Ghat, like Dasashwamedh Ghat in Banaras. It's the stepwise you go down to the pond and take the water for drinking, for bathing, for cleaning, whatever. So he said, from one step you go down and you call it Jal. In Bengali, Jal. In another ghat, you go down and you call it Pani. From another ghat, you go down and you say in English, water. And from another ghat, you go down and you call it, meaning the Britishers are coming in, the Hindi-speaking people, the Bengali-speaking people, the Tamilian is coming in and saying Tanni, and you French are coming and calling it in French, you as water. But Paramahansa Ramakrishna, all is water. So follow whichever religion practices you do. And yet, the great masters have found out some beautiful ways and the processes for you and me to simplify our journey through our great gurus who have left the messages for us to be aware and follow a path of simplicity. Paramahansa Ramakrishna shifted as Gadadhar at the age of 18 and a half to Kolkata with Ramkumar because father had died. Family was in very simple family, needed financial support, and Ramkumar was the eldest of the family, as the tradition is to support. So he shifted to Kolkata those days called Calcutta by the British Raj, to earn some money by teaching in a Sanskrit school, and he was also offered the priesthood of Dakshineshwar temple. That temple was owned by Rani Rashmani, and Mathur Babu was her son-in-law. Rani Rashmani was a great dynamic lady. Rani in Bengali means queen. Though she was not actually a queen, but she held a huge properties of land and great manager and a great devotee. Great devotee to that extent that they could quickly recognize when Paramhans Ramkrishna, then as Gadadhar, joined Ramkumar at the age of 18 and a half. And at the age of 19, he was given the priesthood too. Till then, he was helping Ramkumar, worshipping. And he became the priest when he was about 19 years of age, very young. And yet, with his intensity, he used to be always in the temple. Temple is to open at a certain time and is to close at a certain time. But Gadadhar was always seen there. Though the worship generally used to take 1 hour or 1.5 hours, he would take hours, 2 hours, 3 hours in worship. And he will talk to, this is how he got introduced to Mother Kali. Otherwise, they are from Raghav. Family deity is Rama. And it is known that in Kamarpukur itself, this is little research guided me to the message, that there was one temple where Ramkumar used to teach Sanskrit in Kamarpukur. Next to that, there was a temple of Mother Kali. So Gadadhar used to go with Ramkumar to just be there and listen to brother and help him with whatever needs. Along with that, he would go down and sit down. He came to realize about the power of the Kali. Not exactly there, but he would sit there. He was a very good singer. He will pray, and whatever prasad will come, he will put it, and people will come down and sometimes take it away all, and Gadadhar is to smile. He was least interested in from childhood for himself. He always looked at other people, and everybody loved him. Walking down the village of a Bengal village, plush with greens and paddy fields, and darkened cloud, and some white flocks of birds. Many of you may have seen this. I've been blessed to see that too. But look at my reaction. My reaction is to be, oh, it was so nice, calm, poised as if it's going to be thunder shower, and dark white birds, cranes are flying across. The moment Gadadhar saw that, he went into Samadhi. Somebody opened an umbrella as he was going from the Dakshineshwar temple in Atanga to see the Victoria Cross. Somebody opened an umbrella. That means a closed umbrella opened up. This symbol of opening up of reminded him of opening up of our mind and consciousness. He went into Samadhi. Dr. Sarkar, when he started to get into the Samadhi in the Dakshineshwar temple, did his test many times. He was shocked to see he's in Samadhi, his heart has stopped, his pulse is zero, and yet he's fully conscious. This Samadhi state is not an unconscious state, not in a state like coma. Like you and me, we wouldn't know. He was fully conscious. And to bring him back, you have to take the name of God. Or if somebody was singing some Divine Mother song or God song and sang it little out of tune, he himself was a very good singer, very loving sing. I used to sing very often. If you read Gospels of Ramakrishna Kathamrit, and pages after pages, Master M has written down even word by word those. And if somebody sang out of tune, he would shudder and slowly come out. His initiation to Vedanta by Totapuri. Totapuri and used to meditate under a huge banyan tree, long hours. When he came first, he landed in the temple. As you know, it is right at the bank of the river Ganges. And he landed there and he came out and he was looking for a place to stay and he found young Gadadhar. He said, "Come here, I want to teach you Vedanta." And then Gadadhar said, "Let me go and ask my mother." So Totapuri didn't know anything. He thought must be going and asking his mother. That intense he was, and his conversation was like that. So he's showing it to you and me, beloved bhaktas, that you can build up. All his, whatever I'm narrating to you, is a live example for you and me to go ahead and practice it. Start it, and you will see you will converse. You will get messages. He came back and told Totapuri, okay, mother has agreed. Said, tell Totapuri to teach you. Totapuri did not understand. And in his lessons, as he was going on, and he was talking, trying to teach him about the Vedanta message. But Vedanta is Advaita Vedanta. That is, no gunas, nirgun Brahman. And Paramhans Ramakrishna, through his Bhakta Yoga and Mother Kali, he says, I can't forget Mother Kali. Whatever you do, he says, think of a divine light here. And as he saw the divine light there, he said, Mother Kali is there. And Totapuri, he tells Totapuri, I can't take out Mother Kali. And Totapuri said, what do you mean you cannot take out? And he broke the bottle of oil, which was right lying there for the putting oil for the lamp. He broke it, and with the cut edge of the bottle, he cut it there. He said, I'm cutting your mother. And Paramhans Ramakrishna, that name was given later. Gadadhar went into Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Totapuri came out, and generally as the yogis and all over, especially in Himalaya, love to light a fire, he came out and he sat there and waited. The whole afternoon, evening went. This had happened somewhere in the afternoon, as the record shows. Next day, whole day and night went. He would go in, he say, Gadadhar is still in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Next day, the third day, whole day and night went. And on the fourth day, Totapuri goes inside and he sees him still in absolute still, like a bronze statue in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then Totapuri takes the name, what name he took, I am not aware, but with some divine name, he came out. May have done Omkar, I'm just making a guess because of Nirvikalpa Samadhi and because of his Advaita nature. It doesn't state anywhere which I have read. And Paramhans Ramakrishna, then Gadadhar came out into the being. And they embrace each other. Totapuri never stayed in one place for more than 3 days. Here he had stayed for 11 months. And he had never believed in that there could be God and goddesses, that Brahman could be also in the statue of the Mother Kali or Shiva. And towards the end, somehow, and Paramahamsa Ramakrishna said, I prayed to Mother, Mother, let him know that Mother is there in Brahman, Mother is here. Totapuri went in for a serious bout of dysentery, terrible pain in the stomach, that he couldn't meditate anymore. Otherwise, he used to meditate for long hours, right through the day. And Paramahamsa Ramakrishna used to ask him, why do you meditate for so long? You're already an enlightened master. Totapuri would show a brass copper lota, and he used to say, can you see how it is shining? Because I shine it every day. Mind is like that. Keep it trained all the time, then your meditation will be. So you and I, bhaktas, we have to meditate at a specific time, preferably 3 times a day, if not at least twice a day. And Totapuri once came and told him, you know that tree under which I was meditating? It has got a heavenly ghost, a pure ghost. It's not a frightening ghost. It came down. I saw a bright light form coming down and trying to talk to me. I said, who are you? He said, I'm a Brahma Daitva. I'm a special ghost. And everybody, when they were listening from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's devotees, they all were smoking, didn't believe. Paramahamsa Ramakrishna said, no, no, no. I have also met him many times. And in fact, there was a time when that land of the temple was to be taken up by the Britishers and to be utilized for storing of arms and ammunitions as an ammo dump. The Paramahamsa Ramakrishna came to know, and he was very worried. Where am I going to see Mother Kali and how am I going to worship? And they were going to, English were in power, were to take out the land. Mathur Babu went ahead to the High Court and applied protest against this. This Brahmadaita, Gadadhar, then saying, came down, I was meditating and told me many things. He told me that, they're going to take the land. And then he said, I told Mathur Babu. He found out, and then he complained to the court. And then Brahmadaita came and said, don't worry, you all are going to win. Way before the result came. He said, he told many times. Totapuri, he said, okay, you are Brahmadaita, you're creation of Brahman, I'm creation of Brahman, I am going to meditate, you also sit down and meditate. Even the Brahmadaita, who was supposed to be a good ghost, but when the name of meditation ran away. Dear devotees, meditation becomes, do you know why painful for anybody? Because it is mostly to all of us, you and me, meditation is an intellectual journey to the intellectual path, to the quietening of the mind. It is not taking a journey from unknown to known. And the known is the form of the light and the bliss state of the focus state of the light. Let us get back to Gadadhar. If I keep talking about it, it will take me 3-4 hours to talk. I will try and limit it to somewhere around 1 hour, and let us see how much time do I have. I have about 17 minutes still. Gadadhar went through his practices in tremendous ecstasy, and he would roll on the ground, and he said, there was a very famous Bengali saint, and it was Rameshwar, also worshipper of Mother Kali, and known to have witnessed Mother Kali many times, and they're beautiful. His songs, which Paramahamsa Ramakrishna used to also sing. And he would say, you have given darshan to him, why not giving darshan to me? Why am I not seeing you? He would roll on the ground. He would say, Mother, one more day is gone. In the evening time, I have still not seen you. I cannot see you as yet. Why not me? And the people who would be around, they would think the poor village boy has come and left his mother in the village and must be asking for, I have not met my mother for a long time in the village. that the biological mother. They didn't understand. He was talking about the divine spiritual mother, the Brahman. He used to often say to Vivekananda and everybody else, who you call Brahman in Advaita, I call my mother. So have you noticed in our practices, we practice Advaita Nirguna Brahman, Advaita Swaguna Brahman, and then Madhavacharya Dvaitavan, and Swaguna Brahman with figures, with Mother, with Babaji, with Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, with our Gurudevs. We worship everyone. All the great masters, if you study it, whenever they're asked, all right, so this is very nice, which one should we follow? Dvaita, Advaita. And the message from Paramhans Ramkrishna, Vivekananda, and says, every one of them. Follow all. Bhakti Yoga, divine love for the God. Raja Yoga, practice through the breathing, practice through the meditation, attain towards the Samadhi state. Karma Yoga, divinely dedicate yourself for the work towards God. Shiva Gyan is attained by looking after the poor, by the destitute. Do your karma towards them. And when you look after them, you will. During this time, his nephew, Hriday, who was almost his age, 4 years younger, Hriday 4 years younger, who will take care of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, because he was mostly in Samadhi state, not eating. Hriday used to feed and take a lot of care. He used to love Gadadhar a lot. He said, don't worry, I will take care of it. And he used to follow Gadadhar wherever he went. At night, he will see sometime Gadadhar will go on to the forest. You know, if you go down to the temple, if you've been there, there used to be a huge forest. Today, that forest is quite a bit reduced, but there are still quite a bit, and lots of monkeys. To go there, monkeys will come down and try to put their hand into a jhola or your bag. Take care. And he would go down there even at the middle of the night, and through the night he will meditate. The Gadadhar sitting down and meditating. One day, Hriday used to follow him. One day he goes down and he sees, he was feeling scared, and Gadadhar sitting under the tree, and he had taken off all his clothes. And even that thread, which is the mark of the Brahmin, you're not supposed to take it out at any time. That thread also he had taken it out. And Hriday asked, Uncle, what is this? You will be outcasted by the people of this community of the spiritual Brahmin. You've taken out your thread. And Gadadhar said, that is how you're supposed to meditate. He said in Bengali, little difficult to translate, but not very. Lajja grina bhoy tin thakte noy. Lajja, shame. Grina, hateful conduct or hatred for anyone. And fear, bhoy. If you have any one of these three, you can never meditate. Our journey is to go beyond them. Anytime these doubts will come. I used to have a lady long time back, about 20 years back, she used to come and meditate. For privacy's sake, I will not take the name because she's still in the group. My special pranam because she's persistent. But I remember she rang up, and if you are listening to me, she rang me up. She said, sir, I don't know what is it, whatever you all have taught. Whenever I sit down to meditate, there's somebody comes and sits next to me. I'm doing my Kriya Yoga, he's also doing Kriya Yoga, or she, whoever it is. I think it is a he. I'm so scared, I don't want to meditate anymore. I said, listen, you're divinely blessed. A very special spirit, maybe one of our gurus, is coming to help you, to guide you, to help you to meditate, giving you energy. But she was, I'm tempted to tell the name, but I won't. She was said, no, sir, I'm not going to do it. I said, way out is very simple. She said, what? I said, just pray to Babaji. Said, Babaji, whatever you're doing to help me, I appreciate it. But Babaji, please bless me that this spirit, this soul must not come and disturb me. I am getting scared. Lajja Grina boy, Teen Darte Noy. And she said, so magically, I never had that trouble anymore. And she's still pursuing very well. Mother of champions and beautiful. At this time, when his state was like this and Hriday was taking care, so mother from father was already not there, said, come down to the village, come and stay here for a few days. And as he went there and they tried to look for a girl to get him married. You know, those days in Bengal and India, anytime when the boys are like that, and he was that time about 23 years of age. And 4 years later, after he became a temple priest, they said, right time for him to get married. But they couldn't find a girl. Paramhans Ramakrishna didn't say, no, no, no. Just imagine, as Gadadhar, he told them, okay, you go to Joyram Bati, that is the village next door, and I have 10 minutes more. He said, you go down to the next village and go to so-and-so's house, and you will find this girl. She was very young. And those days, early marriage, child marriage was a very in thing. And there, Holy Mother Sarada got married to him. They were so poor, they didn't have any clothes, any gold, anything to wear. And they had to borrow gold. So there was the zamindar there, Laha, I stand corrected, name is Laha. Laha family gave their gold for Mother Sarada to wear on the marriage. And she liked it so much. Marriage is over. You're supposed to return it. You borrowed it only for the marriage date. She will not return it. She was holding on to it. You'll be surprised. But Gadadhar was very clear. When she was deep asleep and slowly he took out and returned it to them. And the mother and everybody told her, don't worry. If it is supposed to be yours, your husband will give you again. And mother was very peaceful. And they came back to Kolkata and continued. The message which practices, as soon as he came back, intensely got involved again. And he maintained absolute celibate life, though married, with the Holy Mother as a holy companion and no relationship whatsoever. He showed it to the world. And when Totapuri gave him sannyas, he didn't break away his marriage. Ideally, as per the understanding and the customs in the Hindus, which goes in when you take sannyas, you break away all relationship. He showed to the world, even though you're married, you can live like a sannyasi. He embraced sannyas, but he continued to stay in the same temple. Mother used to live somewhere else, he was to live somewhere else. Go down and have a look sometime. It filled with energy. If you just go down to Ramakrishna Paramahansa's roof, sit down for 5 minutes, you will feel you've gone into a deep ocean. It's so calm and it'll be difficult for you to get up, but don't worry, somebody will come and pat your thing and say, there are many more people are waiting to come and sit down there. It's always very tempting to go down. Every time I go down to Kolkata, I first go to Dakshinakwar temple from the airport and then follow through whatever we are supposed to do for which we are going down there. Make a trip. I invite you all. And I know some of you have been doing it and divine blessing is on you. Do not get stuck to one thing. Keep your mind like the windows of your computer system. Keep it open so that the world of religion and the ideas can keep on coming to it. Paramhans Ramakrishna was first attended by training by Bhairavi Mata. One day he was sitting there with Hriday, and there is this very smart, pretty looking sannyasini, Bhairavi Mata, came, very pretty, very well looking. She was a Bhairavi. And the moment Gadadhar saw her, told Hriday, go, ask her that my uncle is calling you. His name is, would you please come and meet? And Hridaya said, how can I go and ask a lady like that, even though she is a sannyasi? He said, no, go and ask her. So Hridaya goes and asks. And strangely, Bhairavi Mata said, okay, I will come. And she comes, and the moment she sees him, she recognizes him. She says, I have been told I was to have 3 disciples. I've already found 2. You were the one I was waiting for all these years. And the first 2 are the 2 ladies, and they had a lot of occult powers. One could foretell the future. One could have other occult powers with which they used to utilize it. And Gadadhar eventually met both of them and appeared. He was totally against this occult power. He took away their powers and made them travel towards the true path of becoming one with the Brahman, one with Mother, and oneness with their own awareness. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atman Brahman. Bhairavi Mata, in a very short time, realized that he is not just a simple devotee, that he is a Paramahansa. Towards the end, Bhairavi Mata called for special, those were Gyanis at those days. She said, I'm going to prove it to them that he's not a simple person. He's the God himself has come and walking on this earth. And we must recognize him. And Gadadhar also attended that meeting. And 2 great Pandits were called along with other Pandits from Benares and Kolkata. And they all had sessions. And in this session, questions were asked and experiences were narrated. And Gadadhar would even correct and say, no, it didn't happen like that. It happened actually like this. And while sitting down there, he was totally not at all proud to wait for being declared something. And yet it was declared that he is a Paramahansa. And both of them, the 2 main Pandits, continue to stay with Paramahansa Ramkrishna for a long, long time thereafter. So in one glance, when Swami Vivekananda was asked, 4 minutes left. You have written 9 volumes and many small books. Why is it you didn't write about your guru? Vivekananda expressed it in sincere note. He says, all my entire life of intense sadhana, I realize today I cannot understand my guru and the vastness of Ramakrishna. Towards the end, when Ramakrishna was about to leave his body, and as Vivekananda was sitting next, and he had again a doubt because there was a big wound in his back with a wound called carbuncle, and he was taking out the wound and he was thinking, if he is really God incarnate, why can't he heal himself? And Paramahansa Ramakrishna turned towards him and he said in Bengali, you still have doubts? He got him. And he said, he who is Rama, he who is Krishna is Ramakrishna in this world. And he had apparently said it not once, many times. Swami Abhedananda, the only one of his lecture actually recorded live in London and in America. He was in New York after Vivekananda. He took over that center, Vedanta center, for a long time. He was there for about 32 years, Abhedananda, Swami Abhedananda. He has said many times, he declared himself, he who is Rama is Krishna, is Ramakrishna. Vivekananda was asked again, why didn't you write about him? He said in Bengali that if I try to write about Shiva, I might land making a monkey. You know, those days you make with the earth a little statue of God, goddesses, Many people used to do it. He said, I am trying to make Shiva, I might land up making a monkey. I cannot put him within words. This is how vast he was. And he said, I know him to be the father of all avatars. Now, this is the vastness. And Paramahansa Ramakrishna is to worship every avatar. He had the experience of Muhammad with his Sufi guru. He practiced for 3 years Islam. He practiced for Christianity and experienced Jesus Christ and embraced him. Embraced him meaning Jesus Christ, and it came into him and merged into him. These are all the experiences that are written down. So we have a powerful birthday tomorrow. It is not just one birthday or one 1st of January wish day called Kalpataru Day, a wish tree. Whatever you wish, it happens that day. Paramahansa Ramakrishna on 1st of January in Kashipur Ghat, he came down and he met all the devotees and he said, whatever you wish will be granted. And many had. That will be another time, another step. He's available to all of us. And so are the masters of all religion, all practices. Enjoy every one of them. Study every one of them. Learn something from them. I have a small, very favorite picture of Paramahansa Ramakrishna. And this is what I see. This is how 1836, 17 February, he was born, and he left his body. Let it be. This is in Samadhi. Very few times he was found in smiling Samadhi. This is one such time. The most often seen the picture, which is very rarely it has been taken by a professional photographer. That one you find generally he is sitting and in which it was taken by a professional photographer. When Vivekananda actually planned and got a photographer and did it when he was in Samadhi state. I pray to the Supreme Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Holy Mother, to all the Gurus, Paramahansa Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar Girilari Mahasaya, Mahavatar Babaji, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, gods and goddesses and gurus of all religion. We pray to the Supreme Brahman, Divine Mother, to bless us all so that we all are on his path and end our suffering in this life alone and attain oneness with the Supreme Divinity. Those of you who have questions, you're welcome to go ahead and ask. If you have, please. We can go ahead for a few minutes more, though we just crossed 1 hour. We have the permission on the Zoom. Anybody, any question?
Hi, this is Tutun. I would want to ask you to explain the term Bhairavi.
Say that again. I would like you to explain.
The term Bhairavi.
The term Bhairavi. Okay, Bhairav is actually the name of Shiva. And Bhairavis are the ones in the Tantra Yoga, those who dedicate their life. And there's a very nice, with your question which has come up, is the story when Mathur Babu, Bhairavi is dedicated herself to the Lord Shiva's, the consort, and dedicated her life to Shiva through the tantric medium and through the Tantra. And she was asked by Mathur Babu, rather little funnily and not appropriately, so Bhairavi, where is your Bhairav? So beautiful question. I remember this beautiful answer. Bhairavi Ma showed Lord Shiva under Mother Kali's feet and said, "There is my Bhairav." Mathur Babu didn't let go. He insisted with the second question. No, no, that is made out of mitti. I'm talking about real human Bhairav. Where is your man-like Bhairav? You know what Bhairavi Mata answered? She didn't get angry. She said, if I cannot convert one mitti ka Bhairav into a live Bhairav, what kind of a Bhairavi am I? And she was another enlightened master. I hope that suffices your question. It is a big topic on Tantra Sadhana. Good question.
Okay.
But that
Another, I just wanted to ask, is it Bhairavi is only Shiva or it is also Ma Kali?
it is, of course, the Mother Kali is called the Maya, and Shiva is the one who is the Bhairav. From there, the name comes Bhairavi, not to the Mother Kali. But you're right. The Tantra sadhana starts with the Maya, Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is Maya. We shall do a session on Maya. That's another session. Reminds me a beautiful statement. And Maya is the Prakriti. Purusha is Shiva. But notice something. Shiva, who's supposed to be the supreme, we just had Mahashivaratri. I hope you all got little message that I was asked to deliver about Mahashivaratri.
Yeah.
It is the supreme. And yet the supreme, on top of him,
Yes.
the Mother Kali is standing, and Shiva is absolutely like, no life in him, lying down helplessly. This is the power of the Maya. So when Advaita with Maya, as per Vedanta description, is called Swaguna Brahman God. So yes, you're right. The Mother Kali is supposed to be through which the Tantra sadhana of the Maya is done, and control of lots of powers and things like that. And those two other lady Upasana, disciple of Bhairavi Mata, were the disciple of and got many powers, but Paramahansa Ramakrishna took away those powers and made them free to attain one with the divine.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question.
Thank you.
Any other question? Go ahead and see if you would like to. There are the online sessions from Velur Math to all over the world, Vedanta ashrams, particularly in the Western world and all over India. In Pune, Ramkrishna, I just got a message. There will be session. I will try and send the link to you. I got the link. There will be live session going on virtual. Jai Guru. Akasha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Vayu Shanti, Jalaspataya Shanti. Om Gau Shanti, Akasha Shanti, Uttaradesha Shanti, Dakshinaya Shanti, Purvadesha Shanti, Paschimaya Shanti. Om Manaha Shanti, Chittaha Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May the Divine Mother, God and our Gurus bless us all to attain oneness which is within us, the awareness, the consciousness, and know the supreme essence, Prajnana Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. When we attain the supreme awareness of this consciousness, we attain this understanding of Aham Brahmasmi. Tat Tvamasi, you are that. I am Atman Brahman. Anubhav, feel, experience, I am the Brahman. May this be blessed and possible to all of us. Om Jai